Hello everyone and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me today. We will be doing the Fat Quarter Shop Sew Samplers Pressed Flowers. This is number 9 block. I don't know why I'm trying to read this without my glasses, but I have a light right here that's glaring. It is the Marigold block 9. I do have all of my fabrics right here already cut out and ready for us to start sewing. So what I am going to do is turn you down on my machine so we can just get to it. So if you want to, sew along with me. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to have my pattern right here so I can see what I need to do. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is show you a different angle. If y'all don't like this angle, let me know and I will put you back on the other side next time I do a block. So right now what we're going to do, I do have all of my pieces cut out. This is the pattern that we will be working on today. And I'm just going to get right on into it. Everything is with a 1/4 inch seam. My first piecing instruction is to draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of fabric A, which I have already done. And we need fabric D as well. So we have fabric A and fabric D. And we are to put them right sides together. And what we will be doing with this block is cutting, we will cut on the line, but we will stitch a 1/4 inch each side of that line. Now for me, the 1/4 inch is about midway right there. So what I'm doing is moving my needle all the way. I'm going to put the, okay, so I am as far over as I can go. Okay, so I'm staying with the 1C. It looks like I will be able to set my mark, and where my needle is positioned, that will be the 1/4 inch. Okay, I'm going to turn that around and do that on the other side as well. Make sure that my marked line is on the center mark. What I'm going to do, I'm just trimming that string off where I started it. Now I also have that to do to the second one. I could have done these two at the same time, but it's okay. There is no rush in getting this done. I'm actually a little behind on getting this pattern done. When I received my Sew Sampler box, we had a lot going on in my family. I want to thank everyone for their thoughts and prayers for my family. Over the holiday season, we did lose a family member right before Christmas. And everyone's thoughts and prayers are greatly appreciated. we did have a birth in our family over the holidays. If you're new, you don't know this, but my second grandchild was born the same day that we lost my uncle. So we are saddened by the loss, but we're rejoicing in the birth as well. So our next step is to cut on this line. I seem very ill prepared tonight. It is late in the evening. So this is our A and D unit. We made 4 of them. So I need to press these to the D. We now have our 4 AD half square triangles. Our next step is to draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of fabric G, which I have already done. And then we take a fabric square E, which is this square. So I have one of these left, and I'm going to put it back in our bin there. So we take an E and a G, and we put that G on the bottom left corner. It may be easier to do it this way. And we stitch on the drawn line. So I just put my foot down where I have a center mark right here on my foot, and I put it down on that line. And when I sew, I make sure I stay on that line. Whoops! I just messed up. Let me cut my thread, because I don't want that. I need to reposition that needle. So when I cut my thread, it'll pull straight out. So I need to reposition my needle right back in the center. There we go. This is real life, y'all. This happens. I do this a lot. If I have to do those half square triangles like that. Okay. So it looks like we are going to make 4 of these. What I will do is trim this 1/4 of an inch away from that stitch line to the left of the stitch line. And let me go on and make the other 3. And we will cut them all at the same time. And I'll go on and sew them all at the same time as well. So I am going to trim these off. Let me cut my connecting strings here, and I will show you how I trim. I have my ruler, and what I do is I want to trim, well, let me turn it the correct way. I want to trim a 1/4 of an inch this way, so when I fold this back, it makes our square. So how I do that, I'm going to turn it, since I'm right-handed, I have to turn it to where I can do it right-handed, but let me show you here. I lay the edge of the green on that, because that is 1/4 of an inch, and I will trim right there. I'm going to pull it down here where I can see it. Y'all may not be able to see it, and I apologize if you're not, but I have to bring it down this way for myself. I use a ruler to trim. Not everyone has to use a ruler to trim, but since I'm still green and quilting and still don't know a lot, and I don't trust my measurements, I go on and use a ruler. I mark my lines on everything. I will probably do that for quite a long time, but that way I know everything is good and correct. So what I'm going to do now is I need to press these to this little triangle right there. I'll need to press it down to that. But before I do that, I am to put another G on this corner. So let me look to see if that's going to overlap. Yes, it will. Okay, so I need to go ahead and press these out. I will bring you right back. Well, guys, when I thought I had unpaused you, I didn't. So what I did, I had to put another one of the squares right here. I did it on all 4. I trimmed at that 1/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to press. We now have this unit pressed. So the next thing we will do is we will take fabric A and fabric 8. We will put right sides together, and we are going to do a half square triangle. So we are going to sew on 1/4 of an inch. Okay, on each side of the line. Then we'll just flip it around. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut this on our marked line. Okay, and what I need to do, I need to take these two and press them, and I'll bring you back. I now have this set pressed, and I've trimmed them up. I will let you know this pattern does give you all of your trim settings, what your finished square needs to be, you know, the size of it. So right now we have 3 sets of, not blocks, but just units that are done, pressed, and trimmed. So I'm setting those right there. Our next step is to draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of fabric B squares. Those are my fabric B, and with right sides facing together, layer a B square on a fabric I square. And we are going to make one, because it looks like we're going to make one standing up and one laying down. So, and we have 2 squares. This is our B. And on the one standing up, we're going to put the square with the diagonal going from right to left, and we are going to stitch on the line. So we are going to put our needle back in center position, drop our foot on the line, okay, and on the square, on the rectangle that is laying down, we are going to have the marked line go from bottom left corner up to the right, if that makes sense. I don't know how I said that makes sense, but if you can see what I'm doing here. So I am going to just slide that on the line under the needle. I don't think I was very straight with that, but it will have to do. So what I am going to do is I need to trim a 1/4 of an inch there and a 1/4 of an inch here. Okay, so I am going to go press and I'll be right back. Okay, I have these completed. Our next step is draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of fabric C-squares, which I have already done, and our J-square. And we're making one. We're going to put a C-square here and a C-square here. If you can see that, let me move it around so you can see. We'll be putting a C here and then a C here. And we're making one. And we'll do the top right first. And I will let y'all know, if y'all see that ever in a pattern where it shows doing 2 of them, but it shows doing a certain one first, go on and do that certain one first, because you never know if that particular one is going to overlap something, and it's just it's in the pattern like that for a reason. So we are going to drop our foot right on that line. Now, instead of trimming that first, I'm going to go ahead and put the second piece on. Okay, so now we are going to trim our 1/4 of an inch. And what I will do is I will go and press this out and bring you guys right back. I now have this unit completed. So now our next step is to assemble the block. So I'm moving all of my pieces over here closer to where I can see what I need to grab. Our first step is we need to take this first unit that we made, the second unit that we made, and another first unit that we made. They are going to be in this direction. So let me go ahead and put these two together. Now I am stitching this on a 1/4 of an inch. Okay, our next step that we will do is take the other first block, and flip it over onto this. And I'm sewing it in the direction of the seams. These seams are pressed down, so I'm going to sew it from the top down so I don't have to worry about a seam rolling up. So my first thing that I do though is I get my fabric under the presser foot, and if I feel like I need to, I can put that needle down in it like this. I could just press that needle in it to straighten out the rest of the fabric. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll go on and press this piece out first. Well, I won't press it out. I'll press all of the pieces out at the same time. So this is our top row. Our middle row is going to be one of our second units that we made. And then we have another piece over here that we haven't used yet, and I'm going to make sure that's going up. And then we're going to use another one of the second units. So I'm going to fold this over. And I'm turning it the direction because I have noticed with this machine they're less likely to roll if they're on the bottom. And our next step is we'll take this unit, and I'll show you what I mean. I'll put this one on the top, I'll sew it on top side. What I mean, I have the seams here on the top instead of letting them go to the bottom of the machine. You'll see I'm going to pull out my little scissors here. I do have a stiletto in the same exact cubby that this was in. Okay, so this is our second row. That is our second row. Now our third row, we're using our last two first squares and then our last second square. We'll just fold this over. I'm going to sew in the direction the seams are folded down. And we're going to fold this one over. Okay, now I am going to go press. This is our third row. I now have all of our layers pressed out. So I am going to go on and assemble the main block. Flip that over, nest our seams. Okay, so now what I'm doing is going to put this under my presser foot and get it started here. Okay, and we've got past that seam, so now I have to focus on these other seams to make sure they are not going to roll up under. Our first two layers are done of that square. So now I will take the last layer. I'm going to have to nest the seams. Okay, I have those seams nested. Going to get this just right under. Okay, so that part is done. I am going to go on and press that so we can see how our nested seams did, and I'll bring you right back. The actual square has turned out beautiful. Now to do the sides and the bottom. The bottom piece is going to be this one right here. We will put this on as well, and then this. So let's get this piece first. Okay, and now we are to take this. I'm making sure I'm in the right directions. Yes, we will take this unit and attach. Okay, so this is our very bottom piece that goes down here. I will do the side now. Goes that direction and this direction. So I'm going to fold this over. Now what I'm going to do is put this part on first. Now I have this pressed. It will go this direction, and I will pin these seams. Okay, let me press this and I will bring you guys right back. This is our completed block for the Fat Quarter Shop Press Flowers. This is the marigold. I think that turned out beautiful. So guys, if you are still here with me right now, give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please click on that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the pressed flowers. I do respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.